Okay. Looks like we are live. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? What is today? Oh my gosh, happy Thursday. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope that you can see me. I have a new / old computer, and I actually think the quality of the visual of the video piece of this is much better than what I've been dealing with. So hopefully you guys see that as well. If you're on live, let me know. Let me know that you can hear me, and let me know that you're here so I can say hi. I didn't plan this. I've been doing a lot of impromptu lives lately, and I trust that people will see this when they're meant to, live or on the replay. And yeah, if you're live, let me know that you're here. I will check the comments and let me know if you have any questions. I'm talking about business decisions today. And I think it's funny. It's something that it took me a while to realize that this was something that I help people with. I don't know if you guys have this experience where one day you realize like one of the other things that you do or one of the things that you help people with. And I didn't used to talk about it because, like I said, I mean, for me, it was just sort of a side benefit or a side item or something that just was sort of naturally built into the conversations that I have with my clients. And it wasn't, for me, top of mind. My awareness wasn't sort of highlighted around it. It was just sort of, yeah, part and parcel of what I do. And what I've noticed is, hi guys, let's see, somebody's on. See a few people online sort of highlighted around. Hello, Debbie. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that you're here in person too. That's awesome. Hey, Allison. Good, the comments are working. So if you guys have comments or questions as we go, definitely shoot me a note and say hi. Hi, Allison says hi and thanks again for our session last night. You're so welcome. It was amazing. I had a blast. Allison is in the Evolve program and she got her free session last night to set her up so she can start evolving now. So I'm super excited that I came up with this idea to offer these free sessions for folks who sign up for the program so that you can get a one-on-one session before we even get started in the program and just really jumpstart all of that. So super excited about that. It really gives you an opportunity to, yes, jumpstart, but I think really dive into sort of like, okay, what are my goals for this program? Where am I good and where am I looking to improve? And what's my next step? And being able to, oh, she says it was amazing. It was. It was fantastic for me too. So I'm glad it was helpful for you. Anyway, so these sessions are really good opportunity to just dive in and really, and frankly, get started on the work that you're going to be doing in the program. Getting a little more clarity around what might help you start to navigate in the right direction for you. So that was a blast. I'm super excited. I've got another one tomorrow, I think, and then several next week in preparation for the program starting on the 30th. So super jazzed. So back to business decisions. And again, this is a side note, but I do think it's important to pay attention periodically to what it is that you're offering and what results you're getting your clients. Because for this being a great example, there are probably there are things and results that you get that you help your clients to get that you don't even really think about, and maybe even you don't give yourself enough credit for. And it's the kind of thing that if you did break it down, or if you did happen to mention it periodically, it's going to resonate with people. And helping people, hi Renee, helping people make business decisions is actually one of the big things that I do. And like I said, until maybe a year ago, I really didn't talk about it. I didn't think about it. Like I said, it was just kind of this, natural part of, okay, well, if you help entrepreneurs and creatives with the journey that they're on in this work, sure, making decisions is a piece of that. But like I said, I want to highlight it today because it's a big, hi Lynette, welcome. It's a big part of the entrepreneurial journey, and for sure a part of the creative journey. And I think oftentimes it can be something that really holds us back or slows us down. And that's really what I want to talk about today. I want to know if, for those of you that are on live, oh my gosh, hi, Lynette. I'm happy to see you. Lynette just joined the group, I think today or maybe last night. She's super fresh. So welcome, Lynette. I'd love to know, for those of you who are live, drop me a comment. I'll keep talking, but drop me a comment and let me know, how do you feel about your business decisions? How do you feel about either the decisions you make, or how do you feel about the process that you go through when you're making decisions? How confident do you feel in most of your business decisions? What are you, and then here's my final question, answer any or all of these, guys. What are you saying to yourself about your business decision? So are you making a decision and then saying something like, yeah, but I don't really know if that's going to work. Or, okay, I choose to do this. I'm going to offer this program, but I don't know if anybody's going to buy it. Like, what are you saying to yourself around your business decisions before you make them, while you're in the process of making them, and then once they're made? So I'd love to know. I'd love to know all of your answers to all of these questions, because I think it's a really important part of the process. And when you get good at making business decisions for you, everyone is different in the way that they make business decisions. And so the business decision that I make, the decision that I make for my business is not going to be necessarily the best decision that you need to make for yours, which is just like in life, right? And that's what I think, that's one of the things, again, a little side note, that's one of my biggest one of my major values that I use when I'm running my own business is run it on your own terms. This path of being an entrepreneur or a creative is epic, right? It pulls out your greatest insecurities. It pulls out your greatest weaknesses. It pulls out the things and puts it right in front of you, sometimes smack dab into your face. Sometimes it's reflected in a client. Sometimes it's reflected in the way that a program runs. Sometimes it's reflected in your bank account. But you learn all of these things as a human, and then you decide to become an entrepreneur or creative, and it's like, whoa, you just took it up a notch, and like everything that you've ever worked on comes right back at you to take it to a deeper level, right? And then and then for sure more as you grow. And I think that one of the things that we don't give ourselves enough credit for is that this path is a level up just by choosing to run a business, just by choosing to take this step and do work that's purposeful. Because there's vulnerability in that. And therefore, you can't run your business like someone else, because you can't run your life like someone else. Your life is uniquely yours, as is your business. It's not a copy paste scenario. And I get frustrated by the business coaches that are out there. I think everybody should have a business coach, at least one. But there are some business coaches out there shopping this like one size fits all miracle cure for your business. And it's only going to work for the people who it's meant to work for. There's not a formula for everyone. There's different formulas and there's different ways of running your business. So run your business on your own damn terms. That's one of my favorite sayings. I also have a list of values that I use to run my business, and it's on the front page of my website, lauralivingston.co. Check it out. Run your business on your own damn terms is one of the biggest ones. And again, that's why you have to make your business decisions the same way. Okay, so I want to hear about your business decisions. Michelle, welcome, my dear. Okay, I usually process my business decisions by saying, my business decisions by saying, this is worth a try. And no, if it doesn't work, I've got my entire life to try my approach. Totally, Michelle, I love it. Super healthy, right? Like, I don't think enough people take the opportunity to experiment with their business. And really, at the end of the day, that's what you're doing anyway. Like, whether you want to admit it or not, it's all an experiment, because you don't know if this formula is going to work for you, right? You don't know if this program is going to work. You might know in your intuitive mind, right? But it's all an experiment. You're just trying things out, and just because you sold something last year doesn't mean you can sell it this year. And that's not to say, and I don't mean to say that in such a negative way. I just mean it in the sense that, like, you know, nothing is for sure in this life, for sure in business, and everything is always changing. And so let your business be a creative process. Let your journey as a business owner be a creative process. And I think that involves experimenting. And I don't mean like throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing what will stick, but there is a creative process that you go through when you get a brilliant idea. And then you put a program together, or whatever it is, a service or an offering or a product or whatever it is that you're putting out into the world. And then you just put it out there. And you see and you do see what happens. And then you adjust. If it works, great. If it makes you money but you didn't enjoy it, okay, maybe do something else next time. If you enjoyed it but it didn't make you money, okay, find a way to tweak it. See what's missing. Ask people what they got out of it. Ask people why they didn't buy it. People that you can ask, right? People that you trust. Run it by people. Experiment. What's going to resonate with people? How do I get this? Maybe I just didn't get it in front of the right people, whatever it is. But you do have your whole life. I love that, Michelle. Thank you. Lynette says, Michelle, that's a great way to look at it. Yeah. So one of the things that I've noticed, and I keep the answers coming, guys. What do you notice about your business decisions? What are the easy things? What are the challenges? What's the process that you go through? I think one of the biggest things that I see in my clients is not trusting themselves, or not trusting themselves fully. I actually think that most things are a continuum. So it's hard to say, like, I trust myself or I don't trust myself. Like, most people are somewhere in the middle. I partially trust myself. I'm at 70% today, right, with this decision. But if you're not trusting of yourself, and this is very easy, particularly for new entrepreneurs, but I think a lot of times we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to get it right now, quickly, the first time, and also to figure it all out before we even put something out there. And most of that process has to do with trusting yourself. Can you trust yourself? Can you trust your intuition? Can you trust your creativity? And can you trust, like, the divine downloads that you receive when you know something is a really good idea? Or maybe you don't even know that it's a good idea yet. Like, maybe you can't even see it being marketable. You're like, your brain's not there yet, but you get really excited when you think about offering something new, something specific that you come up with. So I get this really cool idea. I'm not even at the point of people are going to buy, are people going to buy it yet or not? I'm just at the point of like, oh, that's a really cool idea. And I really think I would like to put that service out there. And I really think that I would be fully fulfilled if people bought this program and I got to teach it. Ooh, that feels really good. Ooh, and then what if as I did this, I could help people with this? Oh my gosh, that feels really good, right? Can you trust yourself enough to know that if you can receive that information from wherever you believe it comes from, your intuition, your higher self, the divine, your brain, whatever, that if you had this idea, that you can take it to the next step. And sometimes ideas are meant to be, you know, created, and then another idea is meant to build upon it. And that second idea is supposed to be implemented, right? Sometimes the initial, like, seed idea isn't even supposed to be implemented. It's just the initial idea. But it's a whole creative process. Running your business is a creative process. The decision-making process is a creative process. It's an organic process. It's an evolutionary process. It's an iterative process where you sort of get one idea and then the next, and then as you build it. When I built this Evolve program, I first came up with it a year ago and delivered it in a different format. And then as I started to offer it again, I was like, that was amazing. I loved that program. But before I offer it again, there's something I'm supposed to add to it. And I waited until I knew what that was. And then I added it. And then I offered it. And so letting that decision, right? Like my decision to offer it in the first place, then my decision to pause, and then my decision to offer it again. Trust yourself to make those decisions, to know when to put something out and know when to pause. To know when to say yes to a client on a discovery call and know when to be like, I don't think we're a good fit. So number one, trusting yourself. That's a big piece of this process. Number two, I love the idea. I think it's important to recognize, and I just talked about it, but I just want to highlight it. Recognizing the importance, I'm speaking backwards today, I'm Yoda. Recognizing the importance of the fact that this is a creative process. And so, you know, this isn't a math problem. So you're not like 1 + 1 = 2 - 7 equals, what is that? No. Decision-making doesn't work that way. It's a creative process, and it's not exactly linear. Like sometimes you go somewhere and then you go back to the drawing board and then you come back, right? Like I did with this program. I went back and started over after I'd already delivered it. And there was nothing wrong with it. I just knew it was meant to take it. There was something next for it. And so I went back to the drawing board and I reviewed it and I added to it and then I re-put it back out there. So number one, trusting yourself. Number two, recognizing it as a creative process. And to Michelle's point, letting yourself experiment with it. Okay, Allison, I don't fully trust myself to know what I'm doing, even though I trust my intuition. Oh my God, yes. Yes. And that's the piece, that's one of the things we're going to work on in this Evolve program, is learning how to trust yourself at a deeper level. Ultimately, the better you get at developing a trusting relationship with yourself around your business. Maybe you have a trusting relationship with yourself around life decisions. Maybe you have a trusting relationship with yourself around trusting your intuition when you're giving a reading for someone, when you're working with a client. But maybe you don't trust yourself around business decisions, right? So we can always deepen that level of trust within ourselves. It's just a matter of sort of where you are on the whole thing and what you're working on, and then like diving into that one slice. I think that, well, one of the ways that I've created this Evolve program is in the beginning, and really we're going to do it throughout, but we start it from day one. One of the first things we're doing is we're deepening our relationship with our intuition. And when you deepen your relationship with your intuition, it helps you develop deeper trust with yourself, and it helps you to make better decisions. And by better decisions, I mean, sometimes that's a better business decision, right? Like it's a very practical, like, oh, I came up with this great idea and it's marketable and people are going to buy it and it's at the right price. And that's great. That's my like practical mind speaking, by the way. And what's most important, going back to the masterclass that we went through a couple of weeks ago. If you haven't watched that, please check it out before the end of the month. It's available in the group. It's out there. It's on actually just go to the announcements tab and it's in there. But what's more important than the practicality of your business decision, which I'm just going to say like what's on the surface, right? Like what you decided. What's more important is your energy underneath it. Have you made a decision, but you've kind of like half-assed committed to it? Or have you made a decision, but you're really not sure? You're still kind of in self-doubt. Even though you made a decision and you're going to move forward with it, you're not really sure, right? That energy is really different than, this is a great idea. I'm super excited about this program. I've gotten it clean the way that I want it. I've written it out the way I want it. I'm going to put it out there and I'm super excited about it. I know people want it because I know this is an offering that I can deliver. I know I can get people results, and I know that people are going to be just as excited about it as I am. And I can't wait. And I'm clean and clear in my decision. Totally different energy, right? So what's important is also that energy below it, underneath it, right? Is there any self-doubt? Is there any confidence in what you've decided? And is there any commitment? And I actually think those are different, self-doubt, confidence. And then for sure, are you able to commit fully to your decision? Because just because you follow through with the decision doesn't mean you're really all that committed to it. Do you get the difference? Following through is just the action. It's just the surface level. Again, the commitment is the energy underneath, and people are going to feel that energy. So if you're putting a program out that you're not sure about, people are going to feel that. They might not even know they're feeling it, but they're going to feel it. People respond to your energy, whether they know it or not. Hi, Marty. I want to bring up something else, Allison. So back to Allison's comment. I don't fully trust myself to know what I'm doing, even though I trust my intuition. I think there's two other things in there that I want to talk about a little bit. I think there are a lot of people out there when we talk about this confident piece that are saying to themselves, well, I've never run a business, so I don't know what I'm doing. And I challenge you on that, because there are a million things in your life that you've done that you didn't know how to do before you did them. And there are a million things you've done in life that you didn't know how to do, and then you did them, and then you repeated them, and you kept doing them, and you learned how to do it better. There is also plenty of things that you've done in your life that you only did once. So you didn't know how to do it, meaning I didn't have past validation, like a past experience that I can say, for sure I know how to do it because I've done it once or twice or 7 times. But most of your life is something new in front of you. I mean, you could take the same program and offer it, if I'm a coach, I could take the same program and offer it every single year at the exact same time of year and never edit it and never change it. And there's still going to always be something different. Somebody's going to take my program and ask a different question, right? So like, even if I repeat the same thing 13 times, 13 years in a row, I've never delivered that program at that moment in my development, at that moment in the people who are receiving it in that moment's development. I've never done that. So we have this weird wiring in our brains that if I don't know how to do something, which basically means I've never done it before, or I've never done it before to the point where I was successful and happy about it, then maybe I can't do it. And that's absolutely not true, because there are a million things. When you create a new recipe, you don't know if it's going to be any good. You just do it. And eat cereal for dinner if it turns out bad, no big deal, right? But we don't treat our business like that. There's too much pressure that we put on ourselves. And the truth is, it's a super creative process. And when you release some of that pressure on yourself, then the creativity can come out. When you're worried about how you're going to pay your bills, and you're worried about trying to get it all right the first time, and you're telling yourself you don't know how to do it, you're closing off the intuition. You're closing off the creativity and all the brilliant ideas. And frankly, like, that's where the fun fulfillment comes in. I mean, I get excited about my work before I even deliver it, because I love the whole process of coming up with stuff. And I know you guys do too. And then the other piece I'm going, Allison, this is a brilliant freaking comment that you made. I don't fully trust myself to know what I'm doing, even though I trust my intuition. And the other piece I want to bring up is this idea of being an intuitive doesn't necessarily mean that you always trust yourself, right? Come on, guys. Those of you that are intuitive, whether you call yourself an intuitive or you just know that you're an intuitive person and you utilize your intuition on a regular basis, you still don't always trust yourself, right? I've been intuitive my whole life. I've only in the last few years, like, identified as an intuitive, and the last couple of years done intuitive readings for people. I've always been highly intuitive. I've always been very clear intuitively about the big decisions in my life. I almost always knew when to break up with a boyfriend. I always knew when to move on to the next job. I always knew when to move. And I move a lot. I've lived in a lot of states, a lot of apartments, and now 2 different countries. And I always know my intuition is like, we're going, this is where we're going. You better pack because we're going. And if you don't pack, we're still going, right? Like, it's like I know that's where I'm going, and I go. And so highly intuitive decisions. And I've always been very confident in those. But then if you look at the other parts of my life, particularly 10 years ago when I was in corporate, I was not trusting myself to make decisions, like the smaller decisions, the day-to-day decisions. And so just because you are in touch with your intuition doesn't mean that you also trust yourself. And I really think that's an important differentiation to make, and an important thing to continue to work on. Because the more you trust yourself, the more deeper you're going to get intuitive hits. And the more you work on and tap into your intuition, the more you will be able to trust yourself. See how that goes together? And I've gotten a couple questions from people who are interested in the Evolve program, and they've said, but I'm an intuitive. Is this program, am I gonna be like, yeah, Laura, I know all this stuff? And the answer is no, because this program, as I keep saying, it meets you where you are. So wherever you are in your relationship with your intuition, whether you're an intuitive and you trust yourself, or whether you're still developing trust with yourself in certain areas or all areas, it meets you where you are. Because all this does is it brings you into a deeper relationship with your intuition. So if you're already intuitive, it's just going to take it up a notch or 7. If you're not intuitive, it's going to help you start to develop that relationship, and you're going to start to get intuitive hits like you've never gotten before. So wherever you are, and this isn't an intuitive development course, this is a course to help you make decisions around your business, how to turn the ship if you're turning, how to just grow your business if you're growing, how to start a business if you're starting. Wherever you are in your business, it's intended to help you take the next big step. So whatever your next evolution is of your work, this program will help you on that journey. And it's a step-by-step journey. We're going to take piece by piece that builds on each other as we go through the program, so that you're supported as you think through and make good decisions for your business. And then the beauty of it is that you can come back to it in 6 months when you're at your next evolution of your business, or in a year, or in 3 years, and you can go through the program again because you've got it online. So it's a process that meets you where you are. And that's a really important thing. And like I said, I wanted to just make sure that I address that, because I've had several people say to me, I'm an intuitive, I'm worried, like, I'm only going to need the second half of the program. And that's not true. We're going to be working through intuitive development, not from a like psychic skills perspective, but from a learning how to trust your intuition at a deeper level. We're going to be starting that at the beginning of the program and adding to it throughout the program. So it's just going to take it to the next level. And this is what I do for myself, and this is how I continue to grow. So it's not like, oh, I used to do these things, but now I'm at this point in my intuitive development, and like, I don't need that anymore. Like, these are practices that you can always utilize to build. So important thing to say. Okay, let me know, guys, what else you have before we hop off here. For those of you that are on live, hi, Debbie. Let's see who else. Yeah. So what's the energy? Let me go back. When you're making business decisions, what's the energy underneath that decision? Are you trusting yourself? Do you have confidence in it? Are you allowing yourself to treat your business decisions, and frankly, your whole process around your business, as a creative process? It's one of the reasons why I love working with intuitives, because they already understand the creative process. And not that entrepreneurs don't, but I think it's just been such a fun, obvious, two groups of people that I work with, because the two go together so beautifully. So can you act a little more like your business is a painting that you're putting together, right? Instead of a formula. I guarantee you're going to have a lot more fun with it. And then again, getting back to trusting yourself. And trusting yourself is important in other areas of business, not just making decisions. But I find that decision-making is often the piece that, as I said in the beginning, I didn't realize for a little while that I was helping people make business decisions. That was just sort of a sideline thing, or not, it just wasn't top of mind. It was just like, well, yeah, of course. It was just part of all the different things that I help my clients with. But in that same way, where are you not paying attention to the way that you make your business decisions? Where is it not even in your awareness? And where are you slowing yourself down because you're agonizing over, and this is where I get back to that comment I made earlier about daily decisions. How hard is it for you to make a daily decision? I wonder if you were to log your hours, how many hours do you spend a week making business decisions? Because there's a lot of business decisions to make per week. How long does it take you to make a decision? How much time do you spend making those decisions? And it's not to suggest that you make quick, rash decisions, but again, the closer you get to developing your intuition at a deeper level, wherever you are right now, learning to trust yourself more. And also the final piece about intuition is there's a deep inner knowing within yourself about what to do next, whether to have coffee, an extra cup of coffee this morning, or whether to offer this program at this price point, or whether to call this client to follow up on something. There's a deep inner knowing that you can tap into to help you make those decisions. And then you just make them. And then there's more trust behind them. And you don't, again, how much time are you spending making the decision? And then how much time are you spending after making the decision doubting yourself? This will help you be more efficient. This alone, if you get nothing out of this live and you get nothing out of this Evolve program, this process alone will save you time, because you will just make a decision from your knowing and move forward and let it go. Be in the present moment. Stop wondering. Okay, I see a couple more comments here. Debbie, it's been good to hear you. I'm making so many decisions right now. I am sure you are. I love the idea of business as a painting. The creative part is fun. Also trusting. Yes, totally. Michelle says, decision making takes a lot of time, but I've learned to make faster split-second decisions because analysis paralysis is energy wasted, in my opinion. Completely agree. Completely agree. There is a lot of energy wasted. And again, most of the time when you're in analysis paralysis, you're not trusting yourself. And or you're not tapped into your inner knowing. Because if you were tapped into your inner knowing, you would know what decision to make, even if that decision is, it's not time to make this decision yet. I need more data, or I need to sleep on it, or I don't have an answer yet. That's very different. That's a clear decision versus, well, I wonder, I just haven't decided yet. I don't know, because this and this, but then maybe that and that, right? Totally different energy. And even though I haven't made a decision yet, I'm making a decision to not make the decision yet because I need more information, or I need more time for it to sort of like percolate and iterate and integrate into my body and mind and heart before I make a final decision. That's a decision. That's a clear, confident decision. That's technically, you know, we would say, well, it's not a decision. You didn't check it off your list, but that's clarity. That's tapping into your inner knowing, right? And again, it's not to say that any time spent thinking about a decision is wasted, because I completely, you know, that's not what I'm saying. There are so many business decisions that we have to make every day, and it already is going to take time. But again, if you let it be, you know, do I want red or green paint today? It's very different. And again, I'm talking about the little decisions now. Please don't just, you know, make a decision like that when it's a big one. But again, when you're tapping into your inner knowing, when you're tapping into your heart, to your intuition, to your divine knowing, whatever you want to call this, your higher self, you know the answer. You know the answer. And then you just make the decision and you move forward. And that practice of trusting yourself, tapping into your inner knowing, and then taking an action, making the decision and taking the action to back up that decision, it's a practice. Because once you finish that process and you take the action and you implement that decision, your brain then sees the data that it was looking for before, to talk about Allison's comment around, I don't even know what I'm doing. So, right, I've never done it before. So how do I know what to do? Now you have a data point that I know how to make good decisions because I just made a decision. I was confident in it. I backed it up with action. I implemented it. And now I can tell myself, and that's the final piece that I want to share, is now you can tell yourself that you make good decisions, right? And that's one of the other questions I asked in the beginning is, what are you saying to yourself around your decisions? Like, are you saying in different ways, like you don't trust yourself? Are you saying that you aren't confident in your decisions? Are you saying, I don't know how to do this? And when you do make that decision and you're clear and you back it up with action, make a point to like note back for yourself, like, hey, awareness, write it on your paper if you need to, like make a list of decisions that you've made and implemented, to remind yourself that you are, or you can be good at making decisions, really clear, inspired, you know, decisions connected to your inner knowing, backed up with action. You put it out there. It was good. So next time you're agonizing over something, remind yourself that you've done it before. So that's the final piece. There is a like feedback loop in there that we can sort of not trick our brains with, because it's true data, but our brains like data, and oftentimes we don't get data. So if you can give your brain a data point on decision making, then it's going to help you build your confidence around decision making. Okay, I'm just going to see if there's any more comments here. If you guys have any other questions or comments, I would love to hear them before I hop off. Guys, if you sign up for the Evolve program by the end of the day tomorrow, Friday. I will gift you with a free business alignment assessment, which basically means I go through all the aspects of your business and give you a quick and dirty, like what's working and what's not. So you automatically will have, before you join the program, places where you can dive into and goals that you can start to set to move yourself forward. And that all comes through intuitive guidance. So, I mean, it's myself as well, but it's mostly, it's a big piece of that is channeled. So that's a really, really cool session. I love giving them, people love receiving them. And it's a really good way to kick off your program. So if you're interested in Evolve, definitely sign up before tomorrow night. And then you'll get that free session, which you can use before the program starts if you like, if you have time. And then the other offer I'm offering to you guys is if you're wondering about the program, but you want to sit and talk to me first about it, maybe you have some questions, or maybe you just want to make sure, like, I've got this going on in my business, does that make it a good fit? I'll put the link in here. You can schedule a call with me to just talk it through. And as long as you schedule a call with me sometime between now and tomorrow night, so even if your call is next week, if you get it on the books sometime this week, by the end of Friday night, then I'll honor that. And then assuming you sign up for the program after we talk, then I'll honor that free session for you as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. And like I said, I'll drop the link in here. As soon as I hop off the live, I will drop the link in the comments here so you guys can book it. Any other questions that you guys have about decision making or the program itself? I've been getting a few questions about the program. We're going to be meeting on Wednesdays at noon Pacific, which is 3 Eastern. If you're Central or Mountain like me, you can figure out yourself in the middle. But it's not required that you come to every call. So if you, the way that it's set up is you will have Facebook group support from me. I'll be very active in it's a different separate private Facebook group that we'll be setting up. So if you're joining the calls after the fact, if you're catching the replay, you can always ask questions and I'll come in. And actually a lot of times what I'll do is I'll do a video answer so that you'll get like a full complete, sometimes it's a 5-minute answer, but you'll get a full complete answer in the way that you would if you had been able to join live. So if the timing doesn't work for you, and it's not every single Wednesday, but it's almost every Wednesday, it's a 12-week program and we have 9 calls. Or really 10 with a bonus call. So Wednesdays at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. But again, this is, and frankly, you guys, this is something you could run at your own self-pace. I mean, it's intended to be done live. It's intended to be done live, meaning real time, and that we all progress each week through each module. But if you wanted to sign up for it and, you know, you really want to do like 1 week, take like a month or so to do each week because you just want to progress more slowly through the program, this could be a self-study program for you. It's not going to go away. You're going to have lifetime access to it. You'll always have access to me in the Facebook group to ask questions. So if you're doing module 2, you know, instead of in November, if you're doing module 2 in like February or March, that's fine. You can totally do that. And so I want to just be clear, like it really, you know, the goal is to have people on the calls to the extent that we can, but it's not the way that it has to be done. So if this group is calling to you for some reason, hop on the call with me. Let me get your questions answered. I feel like there's still a few more people that are going to be joining this group. And I feel like it's already a really magnificent group of people. So if it's also, I mean, added bonus, you're going to get to meet some really great people that can support you on your journey. So that's another fun thing. Last year when I ran this program, we had some really interesting synchronicities that happened in the intuitive hits that people were getting. They were getting some signs and synchronicities that happened to be the same. They were going through different things when they joined the program, and then like they started to be working on some issues. So it was very interesting, really cool synchronicities. Somebody just posted a comment in the group, I think a month ago. So I mean, it's not a dead group by any means, and the community continues. So super fun sort of side bonus, if you will, to the program. So again, drop me a line if you want to, or I'll put the link in the comments here. You can schedule a call with me if you have questions. You do not have to join the calls live, but we will meet on Wednesdays. We start on Wednesday, September 30th. And there was one other thing. You get a one-on-one session as a part of the program. The other thing that I'm going to share next week is I'm going to offer a VIP option. So if you've been looking for a coach and you're not sure if you want to join a group program or you want to do one-on-one work, I'm going to offer you something that sort of floats in between. So you can sign up for the program. If you've already signed up for the program, don't worry, you can add on the VIP option if you decide to, same price and everything. But for those of you who want a little more one-on-one attention, I'm going to put a separate price point out there where you can get some additional one-on-one sessions to supplement your learning throughout the program. So if one-on-one session in the group doesn't feel like enough one-on-one support for you, you can amp that up. And it's a much cheaper rate than you would normally get from me if you were just going to buy my one-on-one coaching package. So again, it'll be a really good add-on support for you. And it's really kind of makes, this is a group coaching program, but what the VIP option does is it sort of offers you that hybrid, like you are getting, you know, one-on-one coaching and you're getting the group program, which enables you to continue to learn at your own pace and to do the things that you can do on your own, and then to learn and bounce ideas off of the group. So super, super cool. Hello, Manisha. Oh my gosh, I've seen you twice today, my dear. I love it. Let me know if you have questions or comments about your business decisions and how you make them. And then I'm going to hop off here in a minute. Okay, I've got another comment. Marty said, hi, Marty. Marty says, I'm in a different business situation, but maybe someone can relate to this. I get a feeling like this may work. Then I start putting it out into the world, networking and getting feedback. Even though I know I trust my intuition, it validates my ideas totally. Then I just let it flow. Next thing I know, things are falling into place. Totally. Right. And so that's that piece that I was saying earlier about like, trust yourself to make a decision, even if your decision is, I'm not ready to make a decision yet. That's a little piece about what I feel like you're saying. But I think the other part of what you're saying is that is the intuitive process. That is the creative process around making a decision, especially a big one, right? Like what you're talking about is putting out a new, putting a new organization together or putting out a new service, right? So that's not a small day-to-day, you know, do I put this post on Instagram or do I put it on Facebook, right? It's a big decision. And so you're trusting your inner knowing, then you're putting it out there and kind of feeling how it feels to have those conversations, seeing what other people say, deciding if you want to take their feedback in as truth, right? Filtering that into your intuitive process. And then that takes you to the next step in your decision-making process, which means I've now gathered some data. Now I've sort of continued to ponder and my intuition's continuing to ponder. And now you're at the next stage in your development. It doesn't mean that you've made a final decision, but you've moved the needle. And what you're describing is a beautifully articulated creative process, trusting your intuition. Yeah, beautiful. Hi, Craig. Hi, Craig. Hi, Manisha. Thank you, Marty. That was really beautiful. I'm going to read that again. I get a feeling like this may work. Then I start putting it out into the world, networking and getting feedback. Even though I know I trust my intuition, it validates my ideas. Validating your ideas is by other people. Yes. Then I just let it flow. Next thing I know, things are falling into place. Yeah. And that's the final piece about decision making, right? Like particularly for the bigger decisions, once we make a big decision and we do back it up with the action, and you know that it's the right decision and you've got confidence in it and you're clear and you just like know in your bones and your soul, like this is what I'm doing now, this is what's next, then bam, stuff falls into place, right? Paulo Coelho says like the universe conspires to, I can't remember the quote, but like once you make a decision or put an intention out into the world, the universe conspires to help you get there, right? And that's exactly what happens, right? Stars align, whatever language you want to use, but things fall into place. And again, that's one of the energetic components that's really important about making a decision is like putting it out there, putting action around it, and just owning it. Owning the decision, owning the action, owning what you're putting out there. And then the energy is clear, it's moving forward, and like everything else either backs out of the way to allow it or comes in to support it moving, right? The old falls away and then new comes in to create it. It's beautiful. Okay, guys, let me know again if you have questions about the Evolve program. I will drop the link in here to have a call with me. I am super excited about it. For those of you who've already signed up, it's going to be amazing. And for those of you who already signed up, I'm going to be releasing the Meditation Magic program next week. So you don't have to do it in advance of the program, but you absolutely can if you want to just go ahead and get started. So what it's going to be is a little bit of a walkthrough of how I teach meditation, because there's a lot of different ways to teach it and not all ways are going to work for you. And so I'm going to teach you to sort of find your way through it. If you're already a meditator, awesome. I encourage you to try something a little bit different. I encourage you to try what I'm going to be teaching you, if it's aligned or not aligned to what you do, and then make your own decision, right? Trust your own intuition. But even if, just like I said with the intuition, even if you're already a meditator, this course is going to help you be more successful in this program. It's going to help you put a practice together for you that makes sense for you. And I'm going to teach you, how to navigate your way through meditation and creating a practice for yourself. And I guarantee you, if you're struggling with meditation, this little program it's short and sweet, though, super potent, super powerful. It's going to help you be able to break through whatever's blocking you from being able to meditate. Because again, you're probably trying to meditate in a specific way that you've been told to do, and that's not necessarily for you, or maybe it's not for you right now. So you can try a different way, and there's lots of different ways to do it. So I will walk you through that. So those of you who are already in the program, I'm going to release that to you next week. And don't worry, I will send you an email. But I'm super excited about it, because you can, in the same way that you were able to use your free session to get started, this is another thing you can do to get started before we start the program. And again, you can save all those things for once the program starts too. Just giving you options. So happy Thursday, everybody. This was great. I love all the people. I love seeing everybody live on here, even though it was impromptu. I hope you have a great week. Let me know if you have questions, and I'll see you soon.